In a distant land, nestled between towering mountains and shimmering seas, there was a kingdom unlike any other. In this kingdom, no one had to work for a living. Every need was met by magic, and life, at least on the surface, seemed perfect. The fields always bloomed, the rivers flowed crystal clear, and the people had all the time in the world. They spent their days indulging in luxuries that many would envy. Yet, beneath the tranquility, something was missing. At the heart of it all stood the Grand Palace, a magnificent structure of gold and marble. Inside, a young figure, graceful and admired, wandered its vast, echoing halls. Despite the endless beauty surrounding the palace, there was a quiet unrest in the air. This figure, though surrounded by riches and adoration, felt an emptiness that words could not explain. There was a question that haunted the mind. Why, in a world so perfect, did everything feel so hollow? Unlike most in the kingdom, the young one noticed how, despite their freedom, the people were consumed by boredom. Everywhere, the same scene played out. People sitting idly, their eyes glazed over, listening to the same stories over and over again. The stories once full of magic, courage, and adventure had lost their luster. Tales of dragons, wizards, and heroes that once sparked excitement now felt dull. The endings were always predictable. The villain vanquished, the damsel saved, and everyone living happily ever after. One afternoon, standing on the palace balcony, watching the sun dip below the horizon, the figure overheard a group of courtiers discussing yet another tale about a prince defeating a dragon. Their voices were flat, devoid of excitement. "I'm tired of dragons," one of them said. "It's always the same. Why doesn't anyone tell a new story?" A pang of sadness followed. The magic of storytelling, the very soul of the kingdom, was fading. The people were trapped in a cycle of repetition, and so was the one standing above them. Day after day, the same stories were told, and day after day, the same weary expressions crossed the faces of the people. It wasn't just the stories that had grown old. The sense of adventure, of discovery, of the unknown had vanished. In a kingdom where no one had to face challenges, where everything came easily, life had grown stagnant. But the young figure refused to accept things as they were. Deep down, there was a belief that life held more than this endless cycle of monotony. There had to be stories left untold, adventures yet to be discovered. That evening, as the last light of the day disappeared beyond the hills, a decision was made. No longer would the days be spent watching the kingdom sink deeper into apathy. There had to be something beyond the palace walls, beyond the endless retelling of the same tales, and it would be found. As dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, the young figure, determined and resolute, set out from the Grand Palace. Clad in a simple cloak, the desire for adventure sparkled in their eyes, a stark contrast to the heavy robes of royalty that had been worn before. With each step away from the familiar, a sense of excitement bubbled within, mingled with a tinge of uncertainty. The air was fresh, filled with the sense of blooming flowers and the distant sound of chirping birds. This was a world waiting to be explored, and the figure felt an invigorating thrill surge through them. Wandering through the lush gardens surrounding the palace, the path eventually led to the edge of the kingdom, where rolling hills met dense forests. As the figure entered the woods, the vibrant greens enveloped them, creating a symphony of rustling leaves and whispering winds. The tall trees, guardians of countless stories, loomed above, and for the first time, the reality of adventure felt tangible. Every rustle of leaves seemed to call out with the promise of new experiences. What tales will I discover? The young figure wondered, a smile creeping onto their lips. Perhaps there were creatures in the forest who held stories that had never been told. Perhaps there were hidden realms where magic still thrived. Hours passed as they ventured deeper into the woods, the sunlight filtering through the branches, casting playful shadows on the ground. As the path twisted and turned, it led to a clearing where the air shimmered with an otherworldly glow. Here, Nature thrived in harmony, a perfect reminder of the beauty and mystery of the world. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient tree, its gnarled branches stretching toward the sky, laden with blossoms that sparkled like jewels in the sunlight. It seemed to hum with energy, a quiet invitation to come closer. The figure approached, feeling an inexplicable pull toward the majestic tree. As they reached out to touch the bark, a gentle breeze whispered through the leaves, and suddenly a feeling of warmth enveloped them. It was as if the tree had awakened from a long slumber, eager to share its wisdom. "Welcome, traveler," a voice resonated from the depths of the tree. "You seek stories, do you not?" Startled yet intrigued, the young figure nodded. "Yes, I seek stories beyond the palace walls, stories that inspire and excite." "Then listen closely," the tree continued, its branches swaying gently. "The world is filled with tales waiting to be discovered, but you must be willing to look beyond what you know." With that, the figure closed their eyes, allowing the sounds of the forest to wash over them. The rustling leaves turned into whispers of ancient secrets, and the distant calls of birds transformed into melodies of long-forgotten legends. Images danced behind their eyelids, brave heroes, daring adventures, and mystical creatures woven together by threads of imagination. "Adventure awaits those who dare to seek it," the tree urged. "Every corner of this world holds a story, waiting for a willing heart to uncover it." As the vision faded, the young figure opened their eyes, filled with determination. "I will find these stories. I will share them with my people, so they may remember the joy of adventure." With renewed resolve, the figure thanked the ancient tree for its guidance and stepped back onto the winding path. Each step felt lighter, as if the very ground beneath them pulsed with energy. The forest was alive with possibilities, and the journey had just begun. As twilight began to settle in, casting a warm glow over the landscape, the figure realized it was time to rest. They found a cozy spot beneath the sprawling branches of a nearby tree, the air fragrant with the scent of wildflowers. Nestled in the underbrush, sleep soon took hold, cradled by the gentle whispers of the forest. In dreams, visions of faraway lands danced, filled with vibrant colors and fantastical creatures. They saw a world where stories flowed like rivers, where every encounter sparked new ideas and every experience brought joy. In that moment, the young figure understood that this journey was not just about finding new tales, but about rediscovering the magic of life itself. As dawn broke, the soft golden rays filtered through the leaves, gently nudging the young figure awake. With a stretch and a yawn, they took in the vibrant surroundings, their hearts swelling with a sense of possibility. The forest, now bathed in morning light, seemed to hum with life, beckoning them to explore further. After a quick meal of wild berries gathered from the nearby bushes, the figure set off deeper into the woods. Each step felt like an invitation to uncover hidden treasures, and the anticipation of what lay ahead quickened their pace. The path twisted and turned, leading them to a narrow stream, its waters sparkling like diamonds in the sunlight. Pausing to admire the scene, the figure knelt by the water's edge, dipping their fingers into the cool, refreshing flow. It was then they heard it, a sound like laughter, mingling with the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves. Curiosity piqued, the figure rose and followed the sound, weaving through the trees until they reached a small clearing. In the center stood a woodsman, his rugged appearance softened by a warm smile. He was busy whittling a piece of wood into a delicate figure, the concentration on his face revealing a true craftsman at work. The figure approached cautiously, not wanting to startle him. "Hello there," the woodsman greeted, his eyes twinkling with friendliness. "What brings you to this part of the forest?" "I'm on a journey to find stories," the young figure replied, a hint of excitement in their voice. "I want to share new tales with my kingdom." The woodsman set down his carving and leaned back against a tree, intrigued. "Ah, stories. They are the lifeblood of our world. Every person has a story to tell, and every encounter holds a lesson. What kind of stories do you seek? I want stories filled with adventure and magic, the figure said eagerly. Stories that inspire and ignite the imagination. The woodsman chuckled softly. Then you've come to the right place. The forest is rich with tales, but not all are what they seem. Some stories are hidden in the most unexpected places. Will you share some with me? The figure asked, their eyes wide with anticipation. Of course. But first, let me show you how to listen, the woodsman replied, his tone turning serious. To truly understand a story, one must be open to the world around them. With that, he led the young figure to a nearby grove where the trees formed a natural circle. The woodsman instructed them to sit quietly and close their eyes, allowing the sounds of the forest to wash over them. Feel the vibrations of life, the wind whispering through the branches, the distant call of a bird, the rustle of small creatures in the underbrush. Each sound is a part of a greater story. As the figure sat in silence, they began to notice the subtleties of the forest. The gentle swaying of the trees, the harmonious chirps of insects, and the trickle of the stream created a symphony that resonated within. In that moment, the young figure realized that the forest itself was a living tale, filled with layers of history waiting to be discovered. Now, the woodsman said after a few moments, let's uncover a story together. With that, he shared a tale of a brave animal who ventured beyond the safety of its home to explore the world. The woodsman's voice brought the story to life, painting vivid images of the creature's challenges, fears, and triumphs. The figure listened, entranced, feeling as though they were part of the adventure. As the story unfolded, it became clear that the journey was not just about physical exploration. It was about self-discovery and the courage to face the unknown. When the woodsman finished, the young figure sat in silence, overwhelmed by the depth of the tale. That was incredible, they exclaimed. But how did you come to know this story? Every story has its origins, the woodsman explained. This one was passed down through generations of animals. They share their experiences, and I listen. We are all interconnected in this tapestry of life. What else can we uncover? The figure asked eagerly. Let's find another story, the woodsman suggested. But this time, we will seek it out. Stories often hide in unexpected places. Together, they ventured deeper into the woods, exploring nooks and crannies, peering behind trees, and listening for the whispers of hidden tales. As they walked, the woodsman taught the figure how to notice the details of the world, the patterns of leaves, the shapes of rocks, and the behavior of creatures. Each observation sparked ideas, weaving a web of inspiration. After a while, they came upon a small hill where a lone flower bloomed, vibrant and radiant against the backdrop of green. The woodsman knelt beside it and said, "Look closely. This flower has a story to tell." "What story?" the figure inquired, leaning closer. "This flower was once part of a vast garden," the woodsman began. "But when the garden fell into neglect, it was the only one to survive, drawing strength from the earth and the sun. Its resilience inspired a story of hope." The figure nodded, absorbing the lesson. Even in the most desolate circumstances, life can flourish. Precisely, the woodsman affirmed. Stories teach us about perseverance, about the beauty that emerges from struggle. They remind us that every ending can lead to a new beginning. As they continued their journey, the woodsman shared more tales, each one revealing deeper truths about life, courage, and the strength of the spirit. With every story, the young figure felt more enlightened, more connected to the world around them. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of orange and purple, the two companions settled down on a fallen log to rest. They shared a simple meal of bread and cheese, the woodsman recounting tales of the forest and its inhabitants. "Thank you for this incredible day," the figure said, their heart full of gratitude. "I've learned so much about listening to the world and discovering stories." The woodsman smiled warmly. "Remember, the most profound tales often lie just beneath the surface, waiting for someone to dig a little deeper. Never stop seeking, for every adventure brings you closer to understanding the essence of life. As darkness enveloped the forest, the stars began to twinkle overhead, casting a soft glow on the world below. The young figure gazed up in wonder, feeling a sense of purpose swelling within. There was so much left to discover, so many stories waiting to be told. As dawn broke over the forest, the first light of day illuminated the path ahead, guiding the young figure and the woodsman deeper into the heart of nature. They had spent a night filled with stories, each one weaving the thread of understanding that connected the two adventurers. Now refreshed and inspired, they continued their journey, eager to uncover more tales. After walking for some time, they arrived at the edge of the woods where the trees parted to reveal a quaint village nestled in a lush valley. The figure marveled at the sight. The vibrant houses, adorned with colorful flowers and laughter, painted a picture of warmth and community. This was a place bursting with stories waiting to be discovered. "Here we are," the woodsman announced, gesturing toward the village. "Every person here carries a tale, each filled with joy, sorrow, and everything in between." Curiosity sparked within the young figure as they stepped into the village, the atmosphere alive with activity. Children chased each other in playful games, while elders shared wisdom under the shade of trees. The smell of freshly baked bread wafted through the air, and the sound of laughter echoed, creating a melody that resonated with life. "Let's talk to the villagers," the woodsman suggested. "They may have stories that will inspire you." Together, they approached a group of villagers gathered near a fountain, their animated conversations punctuated by bursts of laughter. As the duo arrived, the chatter paused, and the villagers turned to greet them with warm smiles. "Good morning," the woodsman said, introducing the young figure. "This traveler's on a quest to find stories that can inspire and bring joy to others." "Oh, stories!" exclaimed a woman with a twinkle in her eye. "We have plenty to share. Come gather around." The villagers settled onto benches and logs, forming a circle as they prepared to share their tales. One by one, they recounted their experiences, each story revealing the heart and soul of the village. One man spoke of a time when a fierce storm threatened their homes. "We banded together, using our strengths to protect each other. It was a moment that showed us the power of community," he said, his voice filled with pride. A young girl chimed in, sharing her tale of a lost kitten that had brought the village together. "We searched everywhere, and when we finally found it, everyone cheered. It was the most joyful moment." Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she recounted the adventure. As the stories flowed, the figure listened intently, captivated by the richness of each experience. These were not mere words. They were the essence of life, intertwined with emotions, laughter, and sometimes even tears. Each tale revealed a different aspect of the human spirit, showcasing resilience, kindness, and the importance of connection. After several stories had been shared, the figure felt a deep appreciation for the villagers. "Your stories are incredible. They show the beauty of life in this village," they remarked, a smile spreading across their face. "Thank you for sharing them with me." But one villager, an older man with wise eyes, spoke up. "We have stories of our past, but what about your own? What journey has brought you here?" With a nod of encouragement from the woodsman, the young figure shared their quest to find stories that could inspire and bring joy to their kingdom. They spoke of the boredom that had settled over the palace and their desire to rekindle the spark of adventure among the people. As the figure spoke, they noticed the villagers leaning in, their expressions shifting from curiosity to understanding. They recognized the hunger for stories in their eyes, a desire that resonated deeply with their own experiences. "Perhaps we can help you," the wise old man suggested. "Let us share the legends of our ancestors, stories that have been passed down through generations, filled with magic and lessons." The villagers gathered closer, their voices mingling as they recounted tales of bravery, love, and loss. They spoke of a time when mythical creatures roamed the land, and how heroes rose to face challenges that seemed insurmountable. The young figure listened, enraptured by the enchantment of each story. One villager told of a legendary hero who had once saved the village from a terrible fate. He faced a fearsome beast, but with courage and determination, he triumphed, becoming a symbol of hope for us all. They said, their voice steady. The stories spun a tapestry of history that painted the village in a new light. The figure realized that these legends were not just tales of the past. They held powerful messages that could resonate in the present. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the village, the figure felt a sense of belonging wash over them. "Thank you for sharing these incredible stories," they said, their heart full. "I hope to carry them back to my kingdom and inspire others with the magic they hold." The villagers exchanged glances, their faces lighting up with enthusiasm. "Let's create new stories together," the wise man proposed. "We can combine our tales and experiences to weave a narrative that speaks to both our worlds." With newfound excitement, the villagers and the young figure brainstormed ideas, merging their unique experiences and imaginations. They discussed adventures yet to come and how their lives intertwined through the fabric of storytelling. As night descended, lanterns were lit, casting a warm glow that illuminated the faces of the villagers. The atmosphere buzzed with camaraderie, laughter, and the promise of new adventures. Feeling a surge of inspiration, the young figure looked around at the assembled villagers, realizing that they were not alone in their quest. This was a community bound by stories, and together, they could create something extraordinary. As they shared tales late into the night, the young figure understood that the essence of storytelling was not just in the words spoken, but in the connections formed and the hearts touched. Each story held a piece of the human experience, waiting to be shared and celebrated. Eventually, the figure bid farewell to the villagers, their hearts filled with gratitude and excitement. They knew that the stories collected here would ignite a flame in their kingdom, rekindling the joy of adventure and the wonder of life. With the woodsman by their side, the figure stepped back into the forest, feeling the weight of inspiration guiding their journey. There was still so much to discover, so many stories to collect, and the world felt alive with possibilities. With the memories of the village still fresh, the young figure and the woodsman ventured back through the forest, the canopy of trees arching overhead like a protective embrace. Each step they took felt lighter, invigorated by the tales they had gathered and the connections they had formed. "Today was extraordinary," the figure remarked, glancing up at the woodsman. The stories of the villagers were so vibrant, filled with life and spirit. "I feel like I've gained a piece of their world." The woodsman smiled knowingly. Stories have a way of connecting us, transcending the barriers of time and space. Every person you meet has a story that can enrich your own journey. As they walked, the figure felt a new sense of purpose igniting within them. "I want to share these stories with everyone in my kingdom. They deserve to know the adventures and wisdom of those who have come before them." Indeed, the woodsman agreed. But remember, it's not just about sharing stories. It's about listening too. The world is full of voices waiting to be heard. Their conversation flowed like the gentle breeze rustling through the leaves, each word deepening their bond. The sun began its descent, casting long shadows that danced upon the forest floor, and the figure felt the warmth of the day slipping into the cool embrace of evening. As they approached the edge of the woods, the figure paused, looking back at the familiar landscape. "I'll miss this place," they said, a hint of longing in their voice. "It's been a sanctuary, a source of inspiration." "Every journey leaves its mark," the woodsman replied softly. "But remember, the stories you've collected will always be a part of you. They will guide you wherever you go." With a determined nod, the young figure took a deep breath, savoring the scent of the earth and the sounds of nature around them. As they stepped out of the woods, the sprawling kingdom awaited them, a place filled with possibilities, ready to embrace the tales that had been discovered. Returning to the palace, the figure felt a flutter of excitement. The grandeur of the castle loomed before them, yet it felt different now, infused with the energy of the stories they had gathered. As they entered the palace, the familiar halls echoed with memories, yet there was an unfamiliar spark in the air. The figure made their way to the grand chamber, where the king and queen awaited. The royal couple looked up, their expressions a mix of anticipation and concern. "You've returned," the queen exclaimed, rushing forward to embrace the figure. "What have you found? Did you discover new stories?" With a bright smile, the figure began recounting their adventures. "I met villagers who shared their tales, filled with bravery, laughter, and life lessons. They have inspired me, and I believe these stories can breathe new life into our kingdom." The king leaned forward, intrigued. "Tell us more. What stories did you hear? What lessons can we learn?" The figure shared the story of the hero who had once saved the village from a terrible fate, detailing how the courage of one person could ignite hope in others. They spoke of the young girl's quest to find a lost kitten and how that simple act brought the community together, showcasing the beauty of connection and compassion. As the figure wove each narrative, the king and queen listened intently, their expressions shifting from curiosity to wonder. "These stories remind us of the strength we have as a community," the queen said, her eyes sparkling. "We must share them with the people." The atmosphere in the grand chamber shifted, the energy palpable as excitement filled the air. "Let's host a gathering," the king proposed. "Invite everyone in the kingdom to share their stories. We can create a festival of tales, a celebration of our shared experiences." The figure felt a rush of enthusiasm at the idea. "Yes, a festival where everyone can participate, where voices can be heard and stories can come to life." Plans quickly took shape as the palace staff bustled about, preparing for the grand event. Decorations were hung, banners fluttered, and tables were set, ready to welcome the kingdom's inhabitants. Word spread throughout the land, and soon the air was alive with the hum of anticipation. On the day of the festival, the kingdom transformed into a tapestry of colors and sounds. Villagers and nobles alike gathered in the palace courtyard, laughter and chatter echoing as everyone came together to celebrate the magic of storytelling. The figure stood before the crowd, their heart racing with excitement. "Welcome, everyone. Today, we celebrate the stories that connect us, the adventures we share, and the lessons we learn from one another. Let's begin this journey together." As the figure spoke, a hush fell over the crowd. "We have gathered to listen, to share, and to inspire. Who would like to start?" A hand shot up from the crowd, a young boy eager to share his tale. "I have a story about a brave knight," he exclaimed, his eyes shining with enthusiasm. The figure smiled encouragingly as the boy recounted a fanciful adventure filled with dragons and courage. The crowd listened intently, laughter erupting at the boy's animated gestures and expressions. As he finished, applause filled the air, encouraging more voices to rise. One by one, stories flowed like a river. Elders shared wisdom from their youth, while children spoke of dreams and imaginary worlds. The energy in the courtyard swelled as tales of heroism, friendship, and love unfolded, weaving a rich tapestry of shared experiences. As the day turned to dusk, lanterns were lit, casting a warm glow over the crowd. The figure felt a sense of fulfillment, witnessing the joy that storytelling brought to the people. Each tale added a new layer to the kingdom's collective memory, creating bonds that transcended age and background. Finally, the figure took the stage once more, looking out at the sea of smiling faces. "Thank you for sharing your stories. Today, we have created a treasure trove of tales that will inspire generations to come. Let's carry this spirit forward, reminding ourselves that every person we meet has a story worth hearing." Cheers erupted from the crowd, and a feeling of unity filled the air. The figure knew that the seeds of adventure had been planted, ready to blossom into a vibrant tapestry of shared experiences. As the festival continued, laughter echoed late into the night, and the figure felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had brought them here. The kingdom, once shrouded in boredom, now sparkled with life and connection, a testament to the power of stories. As the stars twinkled above, the figure looked up at the night sky, knowing that the journey was far from over. With every story shared, new adventures awaited, each one an invitation to explore the limitless possibilities of life. As the sun rose the next morning, casting a golden hue over the kingdom, a sense of renewal filled the air. The Festival of Tales had ignited a spark in the hearts of the people, but the figure felt a call for deeper exploration. There was still so much more to discover, and they were determined to seek the wisdom hidden within the ages. With a heart full of purpose, the figure set out once more, this time toward the distant hills that bordered the kingdom. Rumors spoke of an ancient sage who resided there, a keeper of stories that had shaped the land for generations. The thought of meeting someone with such profound knowledge stirred excitement and curiosity. As they journeyed through the lush meadows, flowers danced in the gentle breeze, and birds sang sweet melodies overhead. The figure felt a connection to the world around them, each step echoing the stories yet to be uncovered. Soon, the hills loomed ahead, majestic and imposing, but the figure remained undeterred. Reaching the top, they found a small, weathered hut nestled among the trees. The scent of herbs wafted through the air, inviting and warm. The figure approached cautiously, their heart pounding with anticipation. Taking a deep breath, they knocked on the door, which creaked open to reveal a wise old figure with eyes that sparkled like stars. "Welcome, seeker of stories," the sage said, a gentle smile gracing their lips. "What brings you to my humble abode?" "I seek wisdom," the figure replied, feeling a mixture of awe and excitement. "I want to learn about the stories that shape our lives and connect us all." The sage nodded knowingly. "Every story carries a lesson, a truth waiting to be discovered. Come inside and let us share the tales of the ages." Stepping into the hut, the figure was enveloped in a world of artifacts, scrolls, and trinkets, each whispering secrets of the past. They settled onto a cushion, eager to absorb the knowledge that flowed from the sage's lips. "Let me tell you of the first tale," the sage began, their voice a soothing balm. "In a time long forgotten, there was a great divide among the people, a rift born from misunderstanding and fear. They fought over land, resources, and power, each believing their way was the only truth." The figure listened intently as the sage continued. One day, a humble storyteller emerged from the shadows. They traveled from village to village, sharing tales of compassion, unity, and understanding. With each story, the hearts of the people began to soften, and they realized that their differences were not reasons for conflict, but opportunities for growth. As the sage spoke, the figure imagined the scenes unfolding in their mind, feeling the weight of the message resonate within them. "What happened to the storyteller?" they asked, captivated by the narrative. "The storyteller became a bridge," the sage replied. "They united the people through shared experiences and stories, teaching them that true strength lies in empathy and understanding. In time, the land flourished and harmony was restored." With a deep breath, the figure absorbed the wisdom. "So stories can change the world?" "Indeed," the sage affirmed, their gaze piercing through the veil of time. "Every story holds the power to inspire, heal, and transform. But it is the willingness to listen and embrace the lessons that truly shapes our destiny." Feeling emboldened, the figure spoke again. "What other tales do you have? What else can I learn?" The sage smiled, pleased by the figure's eagerness. "Let me share another tale, this one about the importance of dreams. In a village not far from here, there lived a young artist who dreamed of painting the skies with colors that had never been seen. The villagers dismissed her visions, telling her it was impossible. The figure leaned in, hanging onto every word. But she believed in her dreams. Every night, she would sneak out to the fields and paint, experimenting with colors and techniques. Over time, her passion drew the attention of those around her, who began to wonder what she was creating. The sage continued. One fateful day, a terrible storm swept through the village, leaving devastation in its wake. In the aftermath, the villagers looked up to see the artist standing before them, holding her masterpiece, a vibrant mural that mirrored the colors of the sunrise. It was a breathtaking display that breathed hope into their weary hearts. What happened next? The figure asked, enthralled. The villagers, once skeptics, were inspired. They rallied together, using the colors of the mural to rebuild their homes and spirits. The artist had not only painted the sky, but had ignited a fire within the hearts of the people, reminding them of the beauty that could emerge from their dreams. The figure felt a rush of inspiration. So, pursuing our dreams can lead to greater things? Yes, the sage confirmed. Dreams are the seeds of possibility. Nurture them, and they can blossom into something extraordinary. Each person's journey is a tapestry woven from their aspirations and experiences. The figure sat in silence, contemplating the lessons shared. They realized that every story was a thread in the grand tapestry of life, each one contributing to the rich narrative of humanity. "Thank you for sharing these tales," they finally said, gratitude filling their voice. "I feel a deeper understanding of the power stories hold." As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow through the window, the sage looked at the figure with a knowing smile. Remember, the journey of storytelling is never ending. Seek out new tales, listen to the voices around you, and let your heart guide you. The world is full of stories waiting to be told. With a newfound sense of purpose, the figure rose, ready to embrace the adventure that lay ahead. They bid farewell to the sage, promising to carry the lessons learned and to continue spreading the magic of stories. As they made their way back down the hills, the figure felt the weight of the world transform into a lightness of being. Each step resonated with a sense of determination, a commitment to not only share their own stories, but to invite others to do the same. Returning to the kingdom, they realized it was time to weave the wisdom of ages into the fabric of their community. The people deserved to hear these tales, to understand the profound connections that bound them together. With the stars twinkling above, the figure envisioned a future filled with stories, a future where every voice was valued, and every experience contributed to the grand narrative of life. The night enveloped the kingdom in a blanket of stars, each twinkling light a reminder of the stories yet to be discovered. With the sage's wisdom resonating in their heart, the figure hurried back to the castle, eager to share the newfound understanding of the world and its tales with the people. Upon entering the grand hall, the figure was greeted by the lively chatter of townsfolk gathered around the fire, laughter echoing off the stone walls. The warmth of camaraderie wrapped around them like a comforting embrace. The once listless atmosphere had transformed, filled with energy and curiosity. "Gather round, everyone," the figure called, their voice rising above the chatter. "I have stories to share, tales that hold the wisdom of ages and dreams that inspire us to become more than we are." The crowd fell silent, eyes wide with anticipation. They formed a semicircle, eager to hear what the figure had to say. The flickering flames danced, illuminating their faces, each one a canvas of hope and intrigue. The figure began, their words flowing like a river. "Not long ago, I ventured to the distant hills where I met an ancient sage. They shared stories of unity and dreams, teaching me that every person, every moment, is a story waiting to be discovered." As they spoke, the crowd leaned in closer, captivated. The figure recounted the tale of the humble storyteller who brought harmony to a divided land, painting vivid pictures in the minds of the listeners. Murmurs of understanding rippled through the audience, each tale resonating deeply within their hearts. With each story shared, the figure felt the air thicken with inspiration. They could see the flickers of hope igniting in the eyes of the townsfolk, mirroring their own excitement. And then, the figure continued, I learned of the artist who dared to dream beyond the ordinary. Her courage turned skepticism into a vibrant mural, reminding us that our dreams can lead to extraordinary transformations. The crowd erupted in applause, the sound echoing through the hall like a chorus of encouragement. The figure beamed, feeling the collective energy rise like a tide. There is so much beauty in our experiences, in our dreams. Each one of us has a story to tell, a unique tale that adds color to the tapestry of life. Inspired by the figure's words, an elder in the crowd stood up. Please share more. We crave stories that remind us of our shared humanity. With a warm smile, the figure nodded, sensing the electric connection in the room. Then let's continue our journey through Thales. Every voice here is a thread in this magnificent tapestry, waiting to be woven together. As the evening unfolded, the figure encouraged others to share their own stories, tales of love, bravery, and resilience. An old woman spoke of her childhood adventures, igniting laughter and nostalgia. A young boy shared his dream of becoming a great inventor, inspiring cheers of encouragement. Each voice added to the rich narrative tapestry, creating a symphony of experiences that echoed through the hall. The figure felt their hearts swell with joy, witnessing the transformation before them. No longer were they mere listeners. The townsfolk had become active participants in the storytelling, their spirits entwined in a shared sense of purpose and connection. As the fire crackled and the night deepened, the figure leaned closer to the crowd. Let us continue to seek stories, not just from the pages of books, but from each other. Each moment is a treasure, each experience a lesson. Together, we can create a community of storytellers, of dreamers and doers. Cheers erupted, voices mingling in a chorus of agreement. The energy was infectious, a wave of enthusiasm washing over the gathering. The figure looked around, feeling the warmth of their shared excitement. From this day forth, they proclaimed, let us host a festival of stories, a day dedicated to sharing our experiences, our dreams, and our adventures. We will celebrate the tapestry of life that binds us together. The crowd roared in approval, the walls reverberating with their joy. Plans began to form, ideas flowing freely like the stories themselves. Each person contributed their vision for the festival games, music, art displays, and storytelling circles. As the festivities took shape, the figure couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude. They had witnessed the transformation of a community, and it was fueled by the stories they had shared. The connections being forged, the laughter echoing, and the warmth of camaraderie enveloping them all felt like magic. The evening wore on, laughter and stories weaving together, creating a tapestry of memories that would linger long after the night had ended. The figure marveled at how the spirit of storytelling had sparked a light within the kingdom, igniting creativity and inspiration. With every story told, the bonds between the townsfolk grew stronger, echoing the lessons learned from the sage. They were no longer just individuals, but a collective, united in their love for storytelling and their thirst for knowledge. As the hour grew late, the figure felt a sense of fulfillment wash over them. The seeds of inspiration had been sown, and now they would flourish in the fertile ground of the kingdom. Let us rest now, the figure suggested, a satisfied smile gracing their face. Tomorrow, we will begin our preparations for the festival. Together, we will create something beautiful, an experience that celebrates the power of stories. As the townsfolk dispersed, a sense of excitement lingered in the air. The figure stood by the fire, watching the flames dance and flicker, mirroring the vibrant energy of the evening. They knew that this was just the beginning. The journey ahead would be filled with adventures, challenges, and, most importantly, stories waiting to be told. With a heart full of anticipation, the figure whispered to the night, "Let the stories begin." The sun rose with a golden hue, casting a warm glow over the kingdom, heralding the day of the festival. Excitement buzzed in the air like a swarm of bees, each person awakening with a sense of purpose and joy. The townsfolk stirred early, bustling with energy as they gathered to transform the square into a vibrant celebration of storytelling. Stalls adorned with colorful fabrics and twinkling lights sprang up, each one a canvas for creativity. Artists painted vivid murals, capturing scenes from beloved tales, while musicians tuned their instruments, filling the air with melodious notes. Laughter and chatter mingled, creating a harmonious symphony that echoed through the streets. In the heart of the square, the figure observed the preparations, their hearts swelling with pride. They could see the seeds of inspiration taking root, each person contributing to the festival in their unique way. From storytellers to painters, musicians to dreamers, everyone was coming together to celebrate the magic of stories. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the figure called the townsfolk to gather around the central stage. Welcome, everyone. Today marks the beginning of our Festival of Stories. This is a celebration of our shared experiences, our dreams, and the tales that bind us together. A cheer erupted from the crowd, the sound echoing through the kingdom. The figure smiled, their heart pounding with excitement. Let us embark on this journey together. We have a day filled with storytelling, music, art, and joy ahead of us. Everyone has a voice, and today we'll hear them all. With that, the festival commenced. A storyteller stepped forward, their voice strong and clear. Once upon a time, in a land not so different from ours, there lived a brave hero who sought to unite the fractured kingdom. The crowd listened intently, hanging on every word. As the tale unfolded, the figure watched as the townsfolk leaned closer, their imaginations ignited. Children gasped at thrilling moments, while adults nodded knowingly at the deeper meanings hidden within the story. The festival had become a tapestry of voices, each thread woven together by the art of storytelling. Throughout the day, the square transformed into a vibrant tapestry of creativity. Musicians played uplifting melodies, inviting spontaneous dancing among the townsfolk. Children painted their dreams on large canvases, their laughter echoing like music in the air. The smell of delicious food wafted through the square, with vendors offering treats that tantalized the senses. As the sun began its descent, casting a warm glow over the festival, the figure knew it was time to introduce something special. Now, dear friends, we invite everyone to share their own stories. Step forward and let your voice be heard. Let us celebrate the richness of our experiences together. The crowd erupted in excitement, a wave of enthusiasm sweeping through the square. One by one, people stepped forward, sharing their tales. An elderly woman spoke of her adventures as a young girl, a brave adventurer in search of hidden treasures. Her words painted a picture of distant lands and daring escapades, captivating the audience. Next, a group of children eagerly took the stage, recounting their imaginative adventures in the forest. Their innocent enthusiasm brought laughter and joy as they mimicked the creatures they encountered, their antics drawing cheers from the crowd. As the stories unfolded, the figure felt a sense of fulfillment wash over them. Each tale added depth to the festival, weaving a rich tapestry of human experience that united everyone. They realized that these stories were more than just entertainment. They were the lifeblood of the kingdom, nourishing the spirit of the people. Amid the festivities, a hush fell over the crowd as an unexpected voice emerged from the shadows. A tall figure, cloaked in mystery, stepped forward. "I have a story to tell," the figure announced, their voice echoing with authority. The townsfolk exchanged glances, curiosity piqued. "Who is this stranger?" They whispered. "I am a traveler," the cloaked figure continued, their eyes glimmering with secrets. "I have journeyed through lands both dark and bright, and I bring with me tales of wonders beyond your imagination." Intrigued, the crowd leaned closer, eager to hear the traveler's stories. "In a kingdom far from here," the traveler began, "there lies a forest that sings with the voices of ancient spirits. Those who dare to enter must confront their deepest fears and desires." As the tale unfolded, the townsfolk were spellbound. The traveler wove a narrative filled with intrigue, adventure, and lessons learned. They painted vivid imagery of enchanted realms, evoking emotions that resonated deeply within the audience. With each twist and turn, the figure's voice drew the crowd into the depths of the story. It was as if the very essence of storytelling had come alive in that moment, igniting a fire of inspiration within everyone present. As the tale reached its climax, the traveler paused, their gaze sweeping over the crowd. But the greatest treasure lies not in the destination, but in the journey itself. Each step we take shapes our story, weaving us into the fabric of the universe. The crowd erupted in applause, their cheers echoing through the square like a triumphant chorus. The traveler bowed, a mysterious smile playing on their lips, before stepping back into the shadows, leaving behind an air of wonder and curiosity. As the festival continued, the figure felt a sense of unity permeate the atmosphere. People gathered in small groups, sharing their own stories and experiences, creating bonds that transcended differences. Laughter mingled with the melodies of music, forming a symphony of joy that filled the air. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, the figure looked around, marveling at the beauty of the moment. They realized that the festival was not just an event. It was a celebration of life itself, a testament to the power of stories to connect hearts and minds. As the night deepened, the figure called for attention once more. Dear friends, let us conclude our festival with a grand finale. Together, we shall create a story, each one of you contributing a line. Let your imagination soar, and let us weave a tale that reflects our shared experiences. Excitement rippled through the crowd as they formed a circle, ready to embark on this collaborative storytelling adventure. The figure began, once upon a time in a kingdom filled with dreams. One by one, the townsfolk added their lines, building the narrative with each contribution. The tale twisted and turned, filled with unexpected adventures and delightful surprises. Laughter erupted as the story took whimsical directions, showcasing the creativity and spirit of the community. As the final line was spoken, the crowd erupted in applause, celebrating their collective creation. The figure beamed with pride, knowing that this festival would be etched in their hearts as a cherished memory. The night continued with music, laughter, and dancing, a vibrant tapestry of joy and connection. The figure stood at the heart of it all, feeling a sense of fulfillment that words could hardly capture. They had witnessed the magic of storytelling transform their kingdom, reigniting the flame of creativity and connection among the people. As the festival drew to a close, the figure reflected on the day's events, feeling grateful for the stories shared and the bonds formed. They knew that this was just the beginning, an awakening to the beauty of storytelling and the endless adventures that lay ahead. As dawn broke over the kingdom, the figure awoke with a heart full of hope. The echoes of the festival still resonated within them, a vibrant reminder of the power of stories to weave lives together. The sun cast a warm glow over the land, illuminating the path ahead, as if beckoning them to continue this newfound journey of discovery. The figure decided it was time to visit the corners of the kingdom once more, to witness how the festival had ignited a spark of creativity in the hearts of the people. They ventured first to the bustling market square, where vendors had set up their stalls, offering goods that reflected the vibrant energy of the previous day. Lively chatter filled the air, accompanied by the enticing aromas of freshly baked bread and fragrant herbs. As the figure wandered through the market, they were greeted by familiar faces, each one shining with renewed enthusiasm. Did you hear the stories shared during the festival? A baker exclaimed, flour dusting their apron. I've decided to create a new recipe inspired by the tale of the brave hero. I'm calling it Courageous Cinnamon Rolls. Laughter bubbled forth from the crowd, and the figure felt a swell of joy at the transformation taking place. Stories had sparked not just creativity in words, but also in the everyday lives of the people. With each tale, they were rediscovering the magic hidden within their own experiences. The figure moved on, passing through the village where they had encountered the young builder. The sight that greeted them was one of bustling activity. Villagers worked side by side, constructing a beautiful archway adorned with flowers and colorful tapestries, a tribute to the festival celebration of stories. "Look!" one of the villagers exclaimed, gesturing towards the archway. "This is our symbol of unity. We've decided to tell a new story with each season, inviting everyone to share their voices." The figure's heart swelled with pride as they witnessed the transformation. The archway would not only beautify the village but also serve as a reminder of the bonds created through storytelling. "It's beautiful," the figure said, their voice filled with admiration. "You've turned a simple structure into a symbol of connection and creativity." As they continued their journey, the figure encountered more instances of change. In the fields, farmers sang as they worked, crafting melodies inspired by the tales they had heard. The sounds of their laughter mingled with the rustle of the wind, creating a symphony that echoed through the countryside. "I've started sharing stories with my family while we work," a farmer shared, wiping sweat from their brow. "It makes the labor feel lighter, and we all look forward to our time together." The figure nodded, understanding that the essence of storytelling had permeated every aspect of life in the kingdom. It was no longer confined to grand tales told in the square. It had become a part of daily routines, a way for families to connect and bond. Eventually, the figure reached the edge of the kingdom, where the forest stood tall and majestic. As they stepped into the shade of the trees, a sense of tranquility enveloped them. The forest had always been a place of wonder, filled with whispers of ancient tales and the rustling of leaves that seemed to tell stories of their own. While walking deeper into the woods, the figure stumbled upon a clearing where children were gathered, their faces painted with delight. They were reenacting stories from the festival, each child embodying a character, from brave heroes to mischievous creatures. "What a delightful scene!" the figure exclaimed, drawing the attention of the children. "What stories are you sharing today?" One child, clad in makeshift armor, grinned. "We're telling the tale of the fearless knight who saved the village from a dragon. But this time, we made the dragon friendly." Laughter erupted among the group, and the figure marveled at how the stories had taken on a life of their own. The children were not merely retelling tales. They were reimagining them, infusing their creativity and perspectives into the narratives. The figure decided to join in, encouraging the children to think outside the box. What if the dragon and the knight became friends? What kind of adventures would they have together? With each suggestion, the children's eyes lit up, their imaginations soaring as they crafted a new tale filled with friendship, laughter, and daring escapades. The figure realized that storytelling was not just about preserving old tales, but also about creating new ones, a continuum that allowed for growth and evolution. As the sun began its descent, casting a warm golden glow over the forest, the figure felt a sense of fulfillment wash over them. They had witnessed the ripple of change spreading throughout the kingdom, igniting a passion for creativity and connection. Returning to the palace, the figure reflected on the journey they had undertaken. They had sown the seeds of storytelling, and now, those seeds were blossoming into a vibrant tapestry of shared experiences. The kingdom was alive with stories, each person a storyteller in their own right, weaving their narratives into the fabric of life. That evening, as twilight painted the sky with hues of purple and gold, the figure gathered with the townsfolk in the palace courtyard. They could feel the excitement in the air as everyone shared their recent experiences, each story richer than the last. "Today has been a day filled with wonders," the figure began, their voice steady and warm. "I've seen the magic of storytelling transform our lives, bringing us together in ways we never imagined. Let us continue this journey, creating new stories and cherishing the old." Cheers erupted from the crowd, their enthusiasm palpable. "Let us not forget the lessons we've learned," the figure continued. "Every person we meet, every moment we share, holds a story waiting to be told. Together, we can build a legacy of creativity that will echo through generations." With that, the figure invited everyone to share their tales from the day. One by one, voices rose in a chorus of storytelling, filling the air with laughter, excitement, and a sense of unity. As night enveloped the kingdom, the stars twinkled above, witnesses to the magic unfolding below. In that moment, the figure knew that the journey was far from over. The kingdom had awakened to the beauty of storytelling, and together, they would continue to explore the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. Each story shared, each experience embraced, was a thread woven into the tapestry of their lives, a testament to the power of connection and creativity. And as the night deepened, a sense of wonder settled over the kingdom, where stories were no longer just tales, but a way of life, a journey waiting to unfold with each new dawn. With the first light of dawn, the kingdom stirred awake, a canvas painted with the colors of possibility. The figure awoke to the soft sounds of laughter and chatter echoing through the palace halls. It was a new day, brimming with potential for more stories to be woven into the fabric of their lives. As they stepped outside, a gentle breeze rustled through the trees, carrying with it the whispers of 1,000 tales waiting to be told. The figure felt a pull to explore beyond the familiar borders of the kingdom, to seek out new experiences and voices that could enrich their understanding of the world. With a heart full of anticipation, they set forth on a journey, leaving the palace behind for a day. The winding path led through lush fields and rolling hills, the landscape alive with the colors of spring. Every step seemed to echo with stories yet to be discovered, urging the figure onward. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the figure arrived at a small village nestled at the edge of a tranquil lake. The village was vibrant, with people bustling about, their laughter harmonizing with the gentle lapping of water against the shore. It was a scene of everyday life, yet it held a certain magic that sparked curiosity. Curiosity piqued, the figure approached a gathering by the lake, where villagers were engaged in crafting boats from reeds and wood. The figure's heart raced at the thought of stories that could emerge from such craftsmanship. "What are you making?" they asked, joining the group. "Boats for the annual regatta," a villager replied, their hands skillfully weaving reeds together. "Each boat tells a story, and this year we're sharing tales of the lake's spirit." Intrigued, the figure asked, "What stories does the lake hold?" "Ah, many tales," another villager chimed in. "Some say the lake is home to a mystical creature that grants wishes to those pure of heart. Others speak of a legendary sailor who once sailed these waters, battling storms and finding treasure." Inspired, the figure joined in the crafting, eager to hear more stories as they worked. With each reed woven into the boat, the villagers shared their experiences and the significance behind the tales. Laughter mingled with the sounds of nature, creating a symphony of shared creativity. As the boats began to take shape, the figure realized that storytelling was not limited to grand narratives. It was embedded in the everyday lives of the people, in the shared moments that connected them. The villagers were not just crafting boats. They were building vessels for their stories to set sail upon the lake. Once the boats were complete, the villagers gathered at the water's edge, excitement radiating from their faces. "Are you ready for the regatta?" one asked, eyes sparkling with anticipation. The figure felt a thrill of adventure rising within. "What happens during the regatta? It's a day of races and storytelling," a villager explained. "Each boat represents a different story, and we share them as we race across the lake. The winner gets to tell their tale to the entire village." The figure smiled, understanding the importance of this event. "Count me in," they exclaimed, eager to embrace the spirit of the day. As the boats were launched onto the water, the figure felt a sense of exhilaration. Each vessel glided across the lake, their colorful sails catching the wind. The villagers cheered and clapped, their energy infectious. With each race, tales were shared and laughter rang out, creating an atmosphere of joy. The figure joined in, sharing their own experiences from the kingdom, weaving narratives of friendship and creativity that resonated with the crowd. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, it was time for the final race. The villagers gathered, eyes filled with anticipation. "This is the moment we've all been waiting for," a villager called out. "The winner gets to share their story with the entire village." The figure felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as they took their place at the starting line. With a resounding cheer, the race began. Boats glided across the water, laughter echoing as the villagers encouraged one another. The thrill of competition filled the air, but it was also a celebration of stories that connected them. In the end, it was the figure who crossed the finish line first, the cheers of the villagers ringing in their ears. With a grin, they raised their hands in triumph, heart pounding with joy. "Now tell us your story," a villager shouted, the crowd eager for the tale that would accompany the victory. Taking a deep breath, the figure recounted their journey, sharing the experiences that had shaped their understanding of storytelling. They spoke of the kingdom, the princess, the festival, and the magic of connection that had blossomed among the people. As the figure shared their story, the villagers listened intently, captivated by the journey that had led to this moment. They laughed at the adventures, gasped at the challenges faced, and felt a sense of unity as the figure's words painted vivid images in their minds. When the tale came to an end, applause erupted from the crowd, echoing across the lake. The figure felt a profound sense of fulfillment wash over them. In that moment, they realized that storytelling was not just a means of sharing experiences. It was a way to forge connections, build bridges, and celebrate the tapestry of life. As night descended upon the village, lanterns flickered to life, casting a warm glow over the gathering. The villagers shared their own stories, each voice adding to the rich tapestry woven throughout the day. Laughter and camaraderie filled the air, and the figure felt a deep sense of belonging. After the regatta, the villagers invited the figure to stay a while longer, eager to learn and share more stories. "There's so much more to discover together," one villager said, eyes sparkling with excitement. And so, the figure agreed to remain, joining the village in their nightly rituals of storytelling. With each tale exchanged, they deepened their understanding of the world, finding beauty in the diversity of experiences that shaped each individual. Days turned into weeks, and the figure became an integral part of the village's storytelling tradition. They explored the depths of the lake, listened to the wind whispering through the trees, and learned from the wisdom of the elders. With each passing moment, they embraced the knowledge that every person held a story, a thread that connected them all. Through these experiences, the figure realized that the journey of storytelling was not solely about sharing. It was also about listening. They became attuned to the nuances of each narrative, recognizing the power of empathy in understanding the lives of others. And as the seasons changed, so did the stories. With each new tale told by the villagers, the figure felt their own spirit expand, drawing inspiration from the richness of life that unfolded around them. The connection forged through storytelling resonated far beyond the boundaries of the village. It rippled across the kingdom, inspiring others to share their experiences and embrace the magic that lay within their own lives. And so, the figure understood that the threads of destiny were woven together through the stories shared, creating a tapestry of life filled with color, connection, and endless possibilities. Each thread represented a unique experience, a moment in time that would forever be etched in the hearts of those who dared to share their journey. The village flourished under the warmth of shared stories, and as the days turned to weeks, the figure felt a growing bond with the people around them. Each evening, as twilight embraced the land, they gathered by the lake, exchanging tales that danced on the breeze. The figure marveled at the power of these gatherings, where laughter and wisdom intertwined, creating a vibrant community woven together by the threads of their experiences. One day, while exploring the edges of the village, the figure stumbled upon an ancient tree, its trunk wide and gnarled, branches reaching high into the sky. The tree seemed to hum with energy, as if it had borne witness to centuries of stories. Intrigued, the figure approached, placing a hand on the rough bark. A sense of calm washed over them, and an idea began to take shape. What if we could gather all the stories of the kingdom in one place? They mused aloud. A festival to celebrate our shared experiences, where everyone could come together to tell their tales. Excitement bubbled within them as they rushed back to the village, eager to share their idea. "I propose a festival of stories," they declared, standing before the villagers gathered by the lake. "We can invite people from all corners of the kingdom to join us, to share their adventures and tales." The villagers erupted in enthusiasm, their eyes shining with anticipation. "What a marvelous idea," one exclaimed. "We can organize storytelling competitions, workshops, and even performances." Together, they began planning the festival, their spirits high with creativity and camaraderie. Ideas flowed freely, each villager contributing their unique perspective, crafting an event that would showcase the diversity of stories in the kingdom. As the days passed, preparations for the festival took shape. Colorful banners were hung, inviting people from near and far to join in the celebration. The sound of laughter and music filled the air, echoing the joy of anticipation that enveloped the village. Finally, the day of the festival arrived. The sun shone brightly, casting a golden hue over the festivities. The village square was alive with energy as people gathered, filling the space with excitement and chatter. Stalls were set up, showcasing crafts, food, and most importantly, stories waiting to be shared. As the figure moved through the crowd, they felt a sense of awe. People from all walks of life had come together, each bringing their unique experiences to share. It was a tapestry of humanity, woven with the threads of adventure, laughter, and lessons learned. The festival began with a grand opening ceremony, where the figure took the stage, their heart racing with a mix of nerves and excitement. "Welcome everyone to our celebration of stories," they called out, their voice ringing across the square. "Today, we gather not just to tell tales but to connect with one another, to understand the beauty of our shared experiences." Cheers erupted from the crowd, and the figure felt a rush of warmth. They introduced the first storyteller, an elder whose voice held the weight of wisdom and the joy of youth. The elder shared tales of the kingdom's history, recounting moments of triumph and struggle, drawing the audience into the world of the past. As the sun rose higher in the sky, a diverse array of storytellers took to the stage. Each shared their narrative, painting vivid pictures with their words. Some told tales of adventure, of climbing mountains and crossing seas, while others spoke of love, friendship, and the simple beauty found in everyday life. The figure listened intently, feeling the magic of each story seep into their soul. They witnessed how laughter could spark joy and how tears could forge connections, reminding them that every experience was valid, every story deserving to be told. Between storytelling sessions, workshops were held where participants could learn the art of storytelling, honing their skills and finding their unique voice. The figure took part in one of the workshops, sharing insights they had gained from their journey. They encouraged others to explore their experiences and express themselves freely, emphasizing that storytelling was not just about the tales themselves, but also the connections forged through sharing. As the day wore on, a sense of unity enveloped the festival. Strangers became friends, sharing meals and stories under the sprawling branches of the ancient tree. The figure wandered through the crowd, their hearts swelling with gratitude for the community that had embraced them. When twilight descended, the atmosphere shifted into one of enchantment. The villagers and visitors gathered around a large bonfire, its flames crackling and dancing in the night. The figure stood before the fire, a sense of reverence washing over them. "Now we gather to share our stories under the stars," they announced, inviting volunteers to step forward and share their tales. One by one, individuals took their place by the fire, their voices rising above the crackle of the flames. A young girl spoke of her dreams of adventure, her eyes bright with determination. An elderly man shared tales of his youth, recounting lessons learned through hardship. Each story resonated with the audience, drawing them deeper into the warmth of connection and understanding. As the final storyteller finished, a hush fell over the crowd. The figure took a moment to reflect on the day, feeling an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. "Today we have created something beautiful," they said softly. "These stories bind us together, reminding us that we are never alone in our experiences." A sense of gratitude filled the air as the villagers exchanged knowing glances, realizing that each story shared was a thread woven into the larger tapestry of their lives. The festival had not only celebrated the art of storytelling, but had also illuminated the power of connection, the understanding that every individual held a piece of the collective narrative. As the bonfire crackled and the stars twinkled overhead, the figure felt a deep sense of purpose. This festival was not just a celebration. It was a catalyst for change, a reminder that stories had the power to inspire, heal, and unite. As the night wore on, laughter echoed in the air, and the villagers shared more stories, reveling in the warmth of companionship. The figure joined in, sharing their own adventures, feeling a sense of belonging that resonated deep within. And so, as the festival drew to a close, the figure looked around at the smiling faces illuminated by the firelight. They understood that the threads of stories had woven a new fabric, one that celebrated diversity and connection. The festival had become a tradition, an annual gathering where tales would continue to be shared, where new stories would be born, and where the spirit of storytelling would thrive for generations to come. With a heart full of joy and a renewed sense of purpose, the figure knew they would carry this experience with them forever, a reminder that every moment held the potential for a new story, a new adventure waiting to unfold. The festival had sparked a transformation within the kingdom, igniting a newfound appreciation for storytelling that rippled through every corner of the land. As the figure wandered through the village in the days following the celebration, they observed a shift in the atmosphere. People exchanged stories not just in grand gatherings, but in everyday encounters, finding magic in the mundane. In the marketplace, merchants shared tales of their journeys, captivating customers with their adventures and the origins of their goods. A baker recounted the first time they had made bread, while a farmer spoke of the changing seasons and the stories whispered by the winds. The figure couldn't help but smile at the vibrant exchanges, realizing that the festival had reignited a spark of creativity and connection among the villagers. But it wasn't just in the marketplace. Families gathered in their homes, sharing stories around the dinner table, laughter filling the air as they recounted their daily experiences. Children began to create their own tales, inspired by the stories they had heard, their imaginations running wild with possibility. The figure delighted in the sounds of laughter and the warmth of camaraderie that echoed throughout the kingdom. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the figure found themselves at the edge of a small pond. They sat on a weathered bench, reflecting on the impact of the festival. A soft rustle caught their attention, and they turned to see a group of children approaching, their faces beaming with excitement. "Can we tell you a story?" one child asked, their eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Of course," the figure replied, leaning forward with interest. The children gathered around, forming a semicircle on the grass. The youngest began, weaving a tale about a brave knight who saved a kingdom from a fearsome dragon. As each child took their turn, the story grew richer, more fantastical, with twists and turns that made the figure laugh and gasp in delight. Their hearts warmed by the creativity blossoming before them. The figure realized that the festival had done more than just encourage storytelling. It had planted seeds of imagination in the minds of the young, empowering them to express themselves and share their voices. "Can we have a storytelling club?" another child suggested, their excitement bubbling over. "We could meet every week and share new stories," the figure beamed at the idea. "That sounds wonderful. You could even invite others to join. The more stories, the better. The children's laughter echoed around the pond as they began to discuss ideas for their club. The figure felt a rush of gratitude, understanding that the ripple effect of the festival was just beginning. As days turned into weeks, the storytelling club blossomed. Children of all ages gathered regularly, eager to share their tales, listen to others, and learn from one another. The figure often joined them, providing guidance and encouragement, fostering an environment where creativity flourished. With each gathering, the children grew more confident, their storytelling skills sharpening as they explored different genres and styles. They began to perform their stories for the village, showcasing their newfound talents at local gatherings and festivals. The once quiet village now thrummed with excitement, the air alive with the joy of storytelling. Word of the club spread, attracting not only children but also adults who wanted to reignite their own storytelling skills. Soon, the original idea of a storytelling club evolved into a community-wide initiative, bringing people together in the spirit of creativity and connection. The figure watched with pride as villagers of all ages participated in workshops, sharing their knowledge and experiences with one another. Each session became a melting pot of ideas, fostering collaboration and the sharing of different perspectives. Stories of adventure, love, and resilience emerged, weaving a rich tapestry of shared human experience that bound the community closer. One day, the figure received an invitation to attend a special gathering at the village square. Curiosity piqued, they made their way to the bustling square, where they discovered the villagers had organized a surprise celebration in honor of the storytelling club. As the figure approached, they were met with cheers and applause. "Thank you for inspiring us," one villager called out. "You've brought our stories back to life." Overwhelmed with emotion, the figure stepped onto the makeshift stage, their hearts swelling with gratitude. "This is not just my achievement," they said, addressing the crowd. "It is a celebration of all of you. Each story shared has enriched our lives and strengthened our community. You are the storytellers, the weavers of this beautiful tapestry we call life." The gathering continued with storytelling performances, showcasing the talents that had blossomed within the community. Laughter and tears mingled in the air as stories unfolded, capturing the essence of their shared humanity. The figure realized that the festival had done more than ignite a passion for storytelling. It had created a sense of belonging, a reminder that everyone had a voice and a story to share. It was a powerful realization, one that would resonate throughout the kingdom for generations to come. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the square, the figure felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The journey had led them to a place of connection, where stories intertwined to form a vibrant community, forever united by the magic of shared experiences. That night, as the festivities drew to a close, the figure took a moment to reflect. They understood that this was just the beginning, a foundation for a future where storytelling would flourish, where each person's unique narrative would continue to weave into the fabric of their lives. With a heart full of hope, the figure looked forward to the stories yet to be told, the adventures yet to be lived, and the connections yet to be forged. The kingdom had embraced the art of storytelling, ensuring that the flame of creativity would burn brightly for years to come. As the seasons changed, the spirit of storytelling continued to flourish throughout the kingdom. The Storytelling Club had become a beloved institution, and villagers eagerly anticipated the weekly gatherings, where new tales were spun and old legends were revived. Each meeting brought with it a sense of anticipation and excitement, as stories transported listeners to far-off lands and magical realms. With the newfound appreciation for storytelling, the figure recognized an opportunity to further unite the kingdom. They envisioned a grand event, a gathering of tales where storytellers from neighboring villages could come together to share their narratives, fostering connections across the region. Excitement buzzed in the air as the figure set to work organizing the event. They enlisted the help of the Storytelling Club, who enthusiastically spread the word. "We'll invite everyone," a child exclaimed, their face beaming with anticipation. The club members brainstormed ideas, eager to make the gathering a celebration of creativity and community. Weeks passed, and the day of the gathering of Thales finally arrived. The village square was adorned with colorful banners, and the scent of delicious food wafted through the air as vendors set up stalls. Tables filled with handmade crafts and treats lined the streets, creating a vibrant marketplace atmosphere that drew villagers and visitors alike. As the sun rose, casting a golden hue over the kingdom, the figure stood at the center of the square, their heart racing with excitement. They welcomed the crowd, expressing gratitude for the joy of storytelling that had united them all. Today, we celebrate not only the stories we share, but also the bonds we create through them. Every tale told is a thread in the fabric of our community, they proclaimed. The first storyteller took the stage, a spirited young girl who shared a whimsical tale about a mischievous fairy who brought laughter to a gloomy kingdom. As she spun her tale, the audience leaned in, captivated by her energy and imagination. Laughter erupted and applause filled the air as she finished, leaving everyone eager for the next story. One by one, storytellers took their turns, each bringing their unique voice and perspective. An elderly woman shared a heartwarming story about friendship that spanned decades, while a traveler spoke of distant lands and cultures, transporting listeners to exotic places through vivid descriptions. The variety of tales showcased the richness of human experience, reminding everyone of the power of storytelling to bridge gaps and foster understanding. Between stories, villagers mingled and shared their own anecdotes, forging connections over shared experiences. The atmosphere was electric, filled with laughter, curiosity, and camaraderie. The figure felt a deep sense of fulfillment, witnessing the transformative power of stories unfold before their eyes. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of pink and purple, a hush fell over the crowd. The final storyteller, a tall figure cloaked in mystery, stepped forward. Their voice was deep and resonant, captivating the audience from the first word. They began a tale about an ancient kingdom that had lost its magic and how a humble peasant had embarked on a quest to restore it. With each twist and turn of the narrative, the crowd held their breath, completely immersed in the unfolding drama. The figure's heart raced as the tale reached its climax, revealing that the magic had never truly disappeared. It was within each person, waiting to be awakened. As the storyteller concluded, the crowd erupted into applause, their cheers echoing through the square. The figure stepped forward once more, gratitude swelling within them. "Thank you for sharing your stories today. Each tale is a testament to the strength of our community and the magic that resides in all of us." The evening transitioned into a celebration, with music and dance filling the air. The villagers joined hands, forming a circle, swaying to the rhythm of lively tunes. Laughter mingled with the melodies as friendships blossomed, and the sense of unity enveloped everyone present. As the festivities continued, the figure reflected on the success of the gathering of Thales. It had achieved its purpose: to inspire, connect, and empower individuals through storytelling. Each person carried the magic of their stories within them, and the kingdom had embraced this power wholeheartedly. In the days that followed, the impact of the gathering became evident. Villagers began organizing smaller storytelling events in their own neighborhoods, fostering a culture of sharing and learning. Children who had once been shy now stood confidently before their peers, weaving narratives that sparkled with imagination. One afternoon, the figure visited a neighboring village, where a group of children gathered in a small park, eager to share their stories. The air was filled with excitement as they recounted adventures of brave heroes, enchanted forests, and wise creatures. The figure listened intently, marveling at the creativity and passion that radiated from each child. In this village, storytelling had become a cherished tradition, a way to connect generations and preserve memories. The figure realized that the ripple effect of their efforts had extended beyond their own kingdom, inspiring neighboring communities to embrace the magic of storytelling as well. With each visit to different villages, the figure witnessed the transformative power of storytelling take root in various forms. Elders shared tales of the past, imparting wisdom to the younger generations, while families bonded over shared narratives that transcended time. As the figure journeyed from village to village, they began to collect these stories, intending to compile them into a book, a treasury of tales from across the kingdom. They envisioned a work that would celebrate the diversity of experiences, weaving together the narratives that had blossomed from the seeds planted during the festival. In the evenings, after a day filled with storytelling, the figure would sit by the flickering light of a fire, jotting down notes and reflections. They felt a sense of purpose and fulfillment, knowing that these stories had the power to inspire not just the current generation, but those yet to come. As the book began to take shape, the figure reached out to the storytellers they had encountered, inviting them to contribute their own tales. The responses were overwhelming, each storyteller eager to share their narrative, knowing that their words would find a place in the tapestry of shared experience. Through this collaborative effort, the figure witnessed a beautiful transformation. The book became a living testament to the creativity and resilience of the community, a treasure trove of stories that would inspire and connect people for generations. The kingdom thrived, not just as a place, but as a vibrant tapestry woven from the threads of countless narratives. The figure stood in the heart of the village, watching as villagers continued to share their stories, each one adding to the rich narrative of their lives. With a heart full of gratitude, the figure understood that they had been part of something extraordinary, a movement that had revived the ancient art of storytelling, ensuring that every voice was heard and every tale celebrated. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the village, the figure smiled, knowing that the journey was far from over. Stories were endless, waiting to be told, and the magic of storytelling would forever illuminate the hearts of those who dared to share their voices. As time passed, the figure found themselves at the heart of a vibrant community, one that had come to understand the profound impact of stories on their lives. The book they had compiled, a celebration of the kingdom's diverse tales, had been published and widely embraced. Each villager eagerly shared copies with friends and family, and the stories began to transcend boundaries, reaching distant lands and sparking conversations across cultures. In the years that followed, the figure dedicated themselves to nurturing the storytelling movement. They organized annual festivals that celebrated the art of narrative, inviting storytellers from all walks of life. The festivals evolved into grand events, attracting visitors from neighboring kingdoms who came to share their own tales and hear the rich tapestry woven by the storytellers of the land. One festival, in particular, stood out. The figure had arranged for a renowned storyteller from a distant kingdom to share their wisdom and artistry. As the day approached, excitement rippled through the community. The villagers prepared with care, creating decorations, planning food stalls, and rehearsing their own stories for the grand event. When the day finally arrived, the village square buzzed with anticipation. Banners fluttered in the gentle breeze, and the scent of delectable dishes filled the air. Children laughed and played, while families set up picnic blankets, ready to enjoy the festivities. The figure took a moment to appreciate the transformation of their community. Once characterized by a sense of monotony, it had blossomed into a lively hub of creativity and connection. The people had become storytellers in their own right, crafting narratives that reflected their experiences, hopes, and dreams. As the renowned storyteller took the stage, a hush fell over the crowd. With a voice rich and melodic, they spun tales that captivated the audience, transporting them to worlds of wonder. The figure watched in awe, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the journey that had led them here. After the guest storyteller had finished, the stage was open to local voices. The villagers shared stories that resonated with their shared experiences, the trials of love, the strength of friendship, and the joy of community. Each tale was met with applause, laughter, and sometimes tears, weaving a bond that was palpable in the air. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the festivities, the figure stepped forward, addressing the crowd. "Look at what we have created together. Stories are not just words. They are the essence of who we are. They connect us, inspire us, and remind us that we are never alone in our journeys." The crowd erupted in cheers, their voices ringing with enthusiasm and appreciation. The figure felt a surge of emotion, realizing that this was more than just a festival. It was a legacy of stories that would carry on for generations. As the night wore on, lanterns were lit, illuminating the village square with a soft golden light. The atmosphere was magical, filled with laughter, music, and the sound of stories being shared around flickering campfires. People huddled together, recounting tales from their lives, and the air buzzed with a sense of unity. The figure moved through the crowd, listening to the diverse stories being told. They encountered an elderly man recounting a tale of bravery during a great storm, and a young girl sharing her dreams of adventure beyond the horizon. Each narrative was a thread in the larger tapestry of their community. As the festival came to a close, the figure stood at the center of the square, their hearts swelling with pride. They understood that the true magic of storytelling lay not just in the tales themselves, but in the connections they forged among people. Every story told was a step toward understanding and compassion, building bridges across divides. In the days following the festival, the figure continued to inspire the community. They initiated workshops that encouraged individuals to explore their storytelling abilities further. The workshops became a safe haven for aspiring storytellers, providing guidance, encouragement, and a space to share their narratives. As the years passed, the figure watched as a new generation of storytellers emerged. Children who had once sat wide-eyed at the festival grew into confident young adults, eager to share their voices. They began crafting their own stories, drawing inspiration from the rich tradition that had been nurtured in their community. The legacy of storytelling became interwoven with the very fabric of the kingdom. Families gathered around fires to share tales, while schools incorporated storytelling into their curriculum, ensuring that every child understood the importance of their own voice. With the success of the storytelling movement, the figure felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had sown the seeds of creativity, and now, the kingdom blossomed with stories that echoed through the valleys and over the hills. As twilight fell one evening, the figure sat beneath a sprawling tree, reflecting on the journey they had embarked upon. The wind rustled the leaves, carrying whispers of stories long forgotten and tales yet to be told. They understood that the power of stories was limitless, transcending time and space. In that moment, the figure made a silent promise to continue nurturing the spirit of storytelling and to remind others that every individual has a unique narrative worth sharing. The world was full of stories waiting to be uncovered, and each person held the key to unlock their own adventure. As the stars twinkled overhead, the figure felt a renewed sense of purpose. They would spend the rest of their days traveling to different villages, collecting stories and celebrating the diverse tapestry of human experience. For they had learned that every story was a gift, a treasure that could illuminate hearts and transform lives. And so, the legacy of stories continued to flourish, a testament to the power of connection, imagination, and the timeless art of storytelling. The kingdom had discovered that within each person lay a story waiting to be told, a reminder that life itself was an adventure, filled with endless possibilities and countless tales waiting to be woven into the fabric of time.